no real new news on the HDB front. So we're not going to talk about news this week, but what we have done and what we intend to do on a week-to-week basis is to pull out all the transactions, right? As you can see, 1st June to 10th June, all the transactions in the entire Singapore. And over all the districts, we have the medium price, the high price for 3 rooms over the different estates, 4-room, 5-room, executive, and whatnot, right? So even if you're a seller or a buyer, this info can be helpful to you, right? Vic, you scroll a bit to the right. And we also have the most popular transactions for the estates. So if you're owner inside, owner over here, you might be interested to see whether the volumes are increasing or decreasing, right? So maybe on as we do this more and more, we'll also share a little bit, again, right, data points, singular data point, not much that you can reference to. We will start to compare. Is it going up? Is it coming down? Volumes, prices, and whatnot. Okay. If you want to have a look at this, we are happy to share. Right, just drop us a text. We have Vic's number over here. Yeah, and that should appear. IG don't have, but anyway. IG,
go
somebody
to YouTube or
go to YouTube or TikTok or Facebook. If not one of our staff will put our contact number inside the IG chat. Okay. Anyway, yes. Okay. So for those of you who are also here, right? This is supposed to be the reason why we are doing live is to make it an interactive session, and so if you like us to analyze, if you are an owner and you are keen to find out what's a fair price for your unit, put it out into any of the chats, right? And any questions that you have with regards to the HDB market or even the condo market, if you really, if you are keen to know, put it down into the chats, right? Our team will send the questions over to us and we'll try our best to answer. Okay. So now let's get started. Come. We will first start with not the case study. Okay, so now we have all this data, right? We are going to talk about 4 estates in particular for this week. Yeah, the first estate, you can click here. Show.
Which one?
Queenstown, right? Based on some of the inquiries that we got, some people they are asking us to analyze different estates. So the first question was, the first estate they asked us to analyze is Queenstown, and maybe I can give and share some figures over here. So in Queenstown, right, the transactions between May to June, 3-room flats, we are ranging between 360,000 to 812,000 for 3-room flats. Yeah, the cheaper of the options are in Sterling View, 166 Sterling Road. A little bit older, but just for $360,000, you can get. Oh, hi team. How about Anchorage? Anchorage condo lah. This one HDB. Okay. Anchorage condo. The one maybe next time we find for you. Okay. Anyway, you see, distract me. Anyway, notable low. Sorry.
This screen.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So 360,000 3-room HDB you can find in Queenstown at Sterling Road, right? The highest price 3-room HDB at Queenstown, it's at Strathmore. No surprise lah, right? But the reason why Strathmore is written over here is I believe we haven't had any transactions in the Dawson side. You show the Excel for Queenstown, yeah.
No, it's here.
No, not this one. This one. Yeah, I don't believe there's any at Dawson. Oh, actually have at Dawson, but not 3-room lah. Most of the 3-room transacted were at Strathmore. That's why bigger. We need to be bigger to see. Okay. In terms of 4-room, the range is between 800,000 to 1.26 million. Okay. The cheapest one, 800,000, Ghim Ling. 28 Ghim Ling, you can find a 4-room over at Queenstown area. Yeah, and the highest price one would be at 18B Holland Drive, 1.26 million. Maybe you can highlight the one for everyone to see.
Which one you want?
1.26 million, we have our 18B Holland Drive. So the good thing about our data, right? The good thing, yeah, correct. The good thing about our data, we even have the floor levels, the unit numbers. If you want to take a look at some of all this, feel free, drop us a text here, right? If you want some of this data lah. So it's on the 27th floor lah, quite high, quite a high floor for this, right? The lower price one, Gilmore Link, 800,000.
800, so 812. 800 should be this one.
Gilmore Link.
No.
Google. Actually, you search Gilmore Link or Control F. Enable editing. Yeah. Don't have. Anyway, yeah.
Maybe it's May one.
Yeah, maybe it's me. Doesn't matter. So at Gilmore Link, you're gonna get 800,000 4-room HDB at Queenstown. Okay? And so the whole purpose of sharing all this data with you guys is so that now we can do a live search. We can go straight into Property Guru to see, right, whether or not there are any good deals. So these are 4 rooms, right?
4 rooms.
4 rooms in the Queenstown area, in the Gilmore area, because we even dive deeper inside to find where are the good value for money units over at Queenstown, right? And so in Queenstown, based on our research, right, the good value is at Gilmore Edge, Gilmore Valley, and Gilmore Link. The reason why we feel that they offer good value for money is because they are newer than most of the Queenstown flats. They are slightly older than your Dawson and Strathmore one, right? Slightly older, but cheaper. And we are talking within the range of $100,000 to $200,000 cheaper lah, right? Which is why we feel Gilmore Edge, Gilmore Valley, Gilmore Link represents good value for money, and we are zooming right in to show you, right? The range is between 950,000 and 1.15 million for the Gilmore Link, Valley, and Edge area. But of course, you can see, right, the Gilmore Link, 950,000, 960,000. So these couple of units are on the bottom end of that range, right? So these are pretty fairly priced if you are price sensitive. This particular unit looks like it's a mid floor, not terribly low. So I feel this one quite good. 29 Gilmore Link, 960,000. Not too bad. Condition doesn't look like there's a lot of reno, but it's great. Yeah, we love those.
2017
yeah, we love those that don't have a lot of renovation. You can renovate it into your own taste, right? But once we start nudging towards the mid, but this one also not bad. Looks like the reno is quite nice, and the floor level looks like is quite high, 1.04 million, because we clear the HDB flats on the other side. So I think 1.04 million looks like a decent, good value for money as well. It's once you go a bit further down, once you go above 1.1, I think that's where things get probably a little bit costly. Okay, right. So now 5 room. Maybe Vic, you can show the 5 room.
5 room. Hold on.
Okay.
So these are the 5 room prices. So the ones on the lower end are built a bit older. So they're built in 1976. So we want something a bit newer. The cheapest one is at 1.2 M, but this is built about 10 years ago. But Sky Oasis at Dawson, the high was at 1.55 M already. So this is about a 2 to 300K discount from Dawson, which is, I think in our opinion, quite a fairly good deal, because it's just off Dawson a little bit only. Yeah, and for those of you, some of you may not know, in Dawson, right, within 1 km, I don't think there's any very famous primary schools based on what I can remember. But Gilmore, some flats are within 1 km of Henry Park Primary, and they are perhaps the only HDB flats within 1 km of Henry Park, because we sold flats over at Gilmore before, and some of the buyers, they're particularly looking in the area due to its proximity to Henry Park, right? So now we are talking about almost a 300K discount for a similar 5-room flat. We didn't still consider what we consider the Queenstown area. Great value for money at just 1.2
1.2 million, right? In the Queenstown area, these are essentially the last batch of flats that are not going to be affected by the prime location housing scheme, right? So at 1.5 million is a little bit on the high side. Why? In my opinion, why? It's because if you just analyze based on the rules of the prime location housing scheme, right, the cap is at 14,000 for every month. When they come back into the resale market, it's also going to be the same 14K cap for eligibility in the resale market. And if you do your sums right, it should form a glass ceiling there about 1.2 million in my personal opinion. So if you buy at 1.5, not to say next time cannot sell, because there's still going to be market, even though there's stocks like what we mentioned earlier last week, 15 months wait out period being lifted, right? There's still going to be demand inside there. But with newer flats coming, the new prime location housing flats coming with a somewhat glass ceiling at about a 1.2, maybe 1.3 million mark, 1.5 the exit may be tricky, right? But of course, if you're buying it to stay for long and whatnot, that's totally okay lah. Yeah. Executive in the Queenstown area, very, very rare. You have to go to somewhere like Mei Ling for it and spend about 1.5, right? Mei Ling there will not be young lah. But then if you ask me, 1.51 for executive, large executive versus 1.55 for a brand new 5-room, I may think the executive may be a better value for money, especially if you are looking for space, okay? If anybody have any questions with regards to Queenstown, anything that you want us to take a look at, any questions, we have questions on the different platforms, YouTube, TikTok, or no questions? If you want us to help you take a look at any particular areas, check out prices, any types, put it into the chat, right? We'll analyze it for you. If not, right, closing off for Queenstown, okay, the median prices for 3 rooms hovers about 470 all the way to 800. 4-room 900 to 1.1, and 5-room is 1.1 to 1.4. Right, so now that you have all these numbers, you can go and take a look at yourself to find, whether or not some of these askings are fair or not fair, right? As we continue to do this, hopefully with more data points, we are able to start offering deeper insights on whether or not the prices are moving up or moving down, right? And hopefully that will help everyone make a clearer decision, be it you're a buyer or a seller. Okay, now let's go on to Tampines.
Yep. So for Tampines, So for Tampines, 3 rooms ranging from 420 to 646, with a notable high at 613A Tampines North Drive 1. So I believe this is the newly MOP cluster at the Tampines Greenwave area. Yeah. So transacted price 646 for the high. And the notable low is 201A Tampines Street 21 at 420,000.
So the 201A one should be, oh no the one is done in May, that's why it's not reflected here. Yeah. Should be slightly older pretty sure it's a bit older. Oh, by the way, those of you who are with us on IG, if you want a clearer view, TikTok, YouTube and Facebook will be better. And for everyone on all the platforms, please do help us like and share so that more people can watch this extremely data-driven and informative session. Okay, come, 4-room.
4-room, we have prices transacted from 545,000 to 925,000. With the high, 925 at 519C, Tampines Central A. It's a DBSS sale, so maybe that's why this translates to a higher price. And then the low is at, we have multiple order flats.
Maybe we can see over here for 4-room. 4-room HDB, yeah, slightly.
You can see the pricing, maybe like this one, 400.
Yep.
This is a...
No, this is very small. This size very small, 900 square feet. 540, 900 Tampines View, 842 Tampines Street 82. right? What's interesting over here, right, if you can see, is that the prices for 4-room in Tampines, the low end can be half the price of the high end 4-room. And this is perhaps very, very unique into the Tampines area, right? Why? Because we have Tampines Central 8, which is our one of the last few batches of DBSS, and I would say one of the better built DBSS around. The ones that's not so good. I mean, even with that time when DBSS was first launched, a lot of complaints with all these DBSS, the narrow corridors, the huge balcony, the tiny kitchens and whatnot, right? But they have still shown to be consistent in fetching good prices. I primarily boil that down to the great location, right? Walking distance to the MRT and everything. I wouldn't say it's right beside the MRT, right? But perhaps about 1 to 2 bus stops to the MRT. Not too bad already, and the youngest one at that, right? Even for the 5-room, the Tampines Central 8 is also the one setting the price benchmarks for the Tampines area at 1.05 million. But actually, if you ask me, 1.05 for 5-room, so new, actually also not new already. Central 8 is about, I believe, about 10 years old already. It's not great, and the thing is they bought also quite expensive that time when DBSS was first launched. So if you really look at it, I think the profits the 600 plus or the Tampines North people, they will have made more profits. Net, they will have made more profits than the Central 8. Just that the Central 8, the ticket, the quantum is higher. Okay. Honestly, if you ask me, if you need location and you like balcony, okay, Central 8 is good, right? But if you're talking about value for money, Tampines North is actually does represent decent value for money at this point in time. Maybe you can take a look at Property Guru. Yeah, Tampines North, right? Very obviously the most popular area, popular in terms of most transactions because there's a lot of MOPs over there. So as a seller, if you're located in Tampines North, we sold a couple of Tampines North ones. We have a question on TikTok. Let's see. Anyway, since you just started, let's see the question on TikTok. Anyway, since Vic is pulling out the questions, those of you that are with us on IG, you may not be able to see terribly clearly, and also you're only seeing half of each of our faces. We are just making do, okay? Go on to TikTok, YouTube, or our IG to see it clearer if you want to see the whole face and the whole screen, okay? Cannot. If not, can you pass me the TikTok, then I see the question. How can we see the question?
Yes, 5-room, level 12, Yishun Street 11, is it?
Edward, you are trying to ask about the prices for 5-room near Yishun Street 11. Vic, come, maybe you just straight away search. Right, then let me search for you. Rough valuations. Edward, if you can offer us your block, we'll be able to give you a more accurate price. But if not, we can see over here, Tampines, Yishun Street 11, right? And he's saying how many? 5-room, right? You filter 5-room?
5-room.
Okay, they range quite. They are a bit older. Yeah, so usually what we do, we sort by prices. I can't really give you a valuation unless you want to give us your block. But things stands at asking prices between 638,000 all the way up to 800,000. But size-wise quite different. Size-wise, at 124 Yishun Street 11 can go 1,400 plus square feet. This is a huge 5-room. The smaller one just now I think I saw was 1,200 plus Smaller one can go 1,300 plus square feet. So sizing can be quite different, but with that, right, I think the PSF all hover about the same range because the difference in size, the difference in size is there. Yeah, the PSFs all hover, you're hovering around the PSF of about, yeah, I mean you take a slight discount off the 800 because it's a bit on the high side. There's, yeah, 800 a bit on the high side. There's only one unit, I believe, 2 units at 800. Everything else is 750 and below. Everything else is 750 and below. So I think you're ranging, I think if you're 12th floor, depending on your condition, high end is 800 lah. Because you mentioned 12 is high floor. Yishun 12 should be quite high. I believe, maybe 750 to 800. Hope that helps, Edward. Come, Ned.
Oh, sorry, he said Avenue 11.
Avenue 11. Okay, okay. Prices look quite similar. Prices look quite similar. 628, 1302, all the way up. Should be also about it. Wow, all the way up to 960. Oh, because once you have all these numbers, they are a lot younger, 2013. And this looks like a DBSS. I believe it's the DBSS. So I'm assuming, Edward, yours is the DBSS lah, huh? If yours is the DBSS, you search by what? You filter by price, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So if yours is the newer one, it range between 850 to 960 lah. 12 floor should be higher floor. I think your range closer to these two, right? If you are the slightly older one, we scroll down. If you are slightly older one, okay.
DBSS Adora Green.
Adora Green, ya lor, ya lor. Adora Green should be 426, right? Adora Green, wait, let's find. Yeah, anyway, for those of you who don't know what we are doing, we are offering some advice live on how to price your units. Adora Green 300 series. Yep, 348, only 2 units for sale. 930.
Looks like the same unit actually.
Oh, why do they have different price? Now that we come to this, it's a great example of why, as an owner, if you do, not that we advise it, if you do have 2 agents, please make sure your agents list at the same price. If they list at different price, poor guy, they're not going to get any calls. And poor owner, if you're never going to get this price because everybody's going to press you from 930 downwards. I mean, if you're this particular owner happen to watch this, yeah, you may want to coordinate your listing prices. And for anyone watching, if you do have 2 agents, please make sure that you coordinate your listing prices. If not, it's obvious that which one is going to get. You're never going to get the top end price. Yeah, and as agents, if you're watching, because a lot of agents watch the channel, on and off, please double check if you're doing an open listing that you're not the one joker that is at a higher price, okay? But yes, Edward, I think you will be the top end, you'll be closer to the 900 plus if you're able to find valuations. Kim, you see whether you can find X value for 900 plus for the Adora site and some transactions, okay? If not, right, Edward, if we have more info for you, we can share it with you, else we come back down to Tampines. Tampines North, okay? So we've sold units at Tampines North. There are still going to be more units hitting their MOP at the Tampines area. So have to be very, very cautious as for sellers. Okay, for sellers have to be very, very cautious. For buyers, great place to source for a good deal because you see the 4 rooms alone, how many listing over there? 42 4-room listings. We have prices ranging all the way from 700 over 1,000. I believe the higher ones should be 900 plus. There will always be people asking for crazy prices. You go all the way. Let's guess the most expensive sell one, 900. Right? Like as expected, there will always be people that are asking crazy price. Now, to be honest, in what world you think people will pay you extra $250,000 for your house? quite challenging lah, huh? Anyway, prices wise, let's look at it. How do they stand? Huh? Let's look at our analysis. Tampines, right? If you are looking at 4-room over there, if you can get something at 700, mid 700s, great value for money. Because albeit they are not terribly near the MRT, but you just have to bear with it a while because Parktown is coming, new big mall, new MRT over there, not the closest, but in exchange for that, because you have 525,000 all the way at the DBSS Central 8. Okay, there's also about 2 bus stops to Tampines MRT at a good 200k discount, and at 5 years younger, it's great value for money. And as a buyer, it's also good to enter into the market in that area right now due to the amount of supply over there. As a seller, focus on what's your next move. Okay, once that is locked in, try to move your units fast, right? Because we've always been getting questions like that about, HDBs being stuck in the market right now. Unfortunately, right? Unfortunately, right? This year, MOP numbers are very low for HDB. So it's still a good time to sell, right? But the MOP numbers are coming up aggressively next year. And especially if you are located in an area with this kind of supply, it is in your favor to firm up your plans, decide and move on faster. That because you see, if you range them all the way down, you see the range of prices over here, all quite narrow already. So you're talking about maybe a 50k difference between maybe the first 20 listings, 50 to 60k difference, right? Then ask yourself, would that be material or would that be very, very important in your move upwards, right? If yes, hold out for it. But then again, if the market is slow, sometimes holding out will not help you also. It's about being realistic, planning properly and moving forward. Right? Speaking of which, then we'll have case studies for you later on to help you with some of these upgrades, okay? Upgrading case study. Yep, 700 plus 1,000 I think is quite okay, yeah? Yep. We have some questions on TikTok.
Coming in, 338 Anchorvale Crescent, level 3. Let's check out the prices there. 338.
Bomba cluster. Why is everybody doing this now? Yeah, cause market slow, very quiet, nothing to do. So do TikTok live, Facebook live, YouTube live, all the live lah. No lah, but genuinely we feel that HDB owners need to be aware that the market is moving, and how do you make better informed decisions? Yeah, that's basically the reason why we are doing it. And also because while Vic is finding out all the information, and also because I thought it's good that because a lot of my content in the past 1 year very, very focused on condos, right? Just want to remind everybody that we also got to HDB. Actually, we do a good amount of HDB flats, especially HDB upgrading cases. Yeah, that's the reason.
Sorry, I don't know how to read these usernames because it's in Chinese.
死坑到底 I think so lah. 死坑到底 Anyway.
Yeah. If you're still here, you're asking about the level 3. There's actually 1 5-room flat. So your one is a 4 or 5 room, yours is a 4-room. Okay, let's
go into the Anchorvale area, not just the Anchorvale Crescent as a whole, not just the block.
Okay.
Yeah. You go into the Anchorvale Crescent as a whole. Yeah, 4-room. Oh, thank you so much for all the questions, yeah? Oh, it's 死坑到底 correct Chinese not too bad Okay. Kim, you help me find the other enquiry, the one better one. Yeah, you show me. Yeah.
Yep, so 5.
Anchorvale Crescent. Just 5 units. 5 units.
But his is a level 3.
So a bit on the lower floor lah. Yeah. So usually when you're lower floor, you will be ranging closer to the lower part. Oh.
This one looks like quite lower floor.
Yeah, so you see, good case study. This guy obviously is lower floor. You see the higher one, this one is higher floor. So most likely this unit will move first. Okay, but let's see let's see the third and the fourth one. Okay, 750, higher floor. This one looks like a higher floor. Wow, a lot at 750,
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so, 十坑到底, okay? You see a lot of them are stuck at 750K. So when you notice prices start to compress together, it's also indication that units are not moving very, very quickly. That's why prices are starting to compress, okay? So I can tell you which one is the first unit to move. This one will be the first unit to move. So unless you are willing to accept a price lower than this guy, don't bother listing your unit yet. Yeah. If not, wait for this guy to sell. This guy definitely first to sell. Followed, I believe, by the 750 high floor units. Okay, so how do you strategize the sale of your lower floor units, right? You look at the higher floor units, how much they are asking for, right? Condition-wise and everything. So you monitor them. Yeah, don't bother monitoring transaction. Monitor your competitor and your neighbors. Yeah, no rush. Let them move. Okay, but if got rush, then you see what they are asking for, and you have to price lower than them, law. Yeah. So if you have interest in selling or you're serious in selling, then you have to cut a good discount off them lah. The 699.
He said he bought at 568,000.
Okay lah. Okay not too bad lah. Yeah, I mean you're sitting on decent profits already. You can afford to sell. If you really want to move, my suggestion is about maybe. You have to wait for this guy to sell. This guy is definitely serious because he's 50K cheaper than the other guy. Then once this guy is gone, then maybe you can replace this guy at this price and try. Yeah. Oh, Pasir Ris 8. Pasir Ris 8. Slammy with a Pasir Ris 8 one bedder. We are focusing on HDB. So Slammy, if we can, we will come back to your inquiry, okay? If not, we will do, yeah. So 十坑到底 not bad lah. The price got come up lah. So low floor doesn't matter. Let this guy move first, okay? We move on. Yep, most welcome. Let me see. Oh, you just bought last year. Wait, even better. Prices already shoot up quite a fair bit already. Hold another 4 more years to sell. There's one more, right?
Bangkok Crescent 3 room.
Bangkok Crescent 3 room.
From YW. Hold on, just give us a moment.
Yeah, so other than just simply giving prices, we thought we'd give you some value add on, like how would we sell slightly lower floor units? How do you utilize both transactions, right? I always say 3 important data points. First, evaluate past, present, future. Okay, so in the past, you'll talk about past transacted prices. Past transacted prices lead to valuations because valuations are primarily made up for past transacted prices, and valuations are kind of like current prices, right? And then we also have asking prices, right? And in this range, then you catch the range law. Asking prices tend to be on the higher end, past transacted in the middle, and valuations, and in this range you should be able to capture some of the things lah. But when market is moving, and especially if they are moving down, okay, you have to react a little bit quicker. Then you monitor how are the prices moving, and this is something that we do for our clients, right? Once we onboard you and we want to monitor before we sell, right? We start to track month to month whether or not the listings are coming up, whether they change the price, and so on and so forth, so that you remain extremely flexible, fluid with where the prices are being priced. Because sometimes people's listing go up, and then they go like, wow, why so long, still no inquiries? Then you actually never realize that all your owners, all your competitors are reducing their price. Then that's why you're not getting any inquiries, right? So these are some of the things that you may want to keep on top of. Yep.
Okay, so YW for Bangkok Crescent 3 room, we don't have a lot of competition here, just 4 units for sale, ranging from 550 to
they look like the
570.
They look like the same listing, huh?
No, this two looks different.
Okay.
Then, but this
This guy will sell. This guy will sell first lah, because this one is high floor.
Yeah.
Quite obviously.
These two looks the same.
Yeah, these two are the same unit, and then this one is lower floor at a higher price. So you see, this is again how you want to do your pricing. It's once you put it out like that, it's very, very obvious who will sell first, who is more serious. This is mispriced. As of now, if you see it like that, right? The photo is also not terribly nice. So definitely you're not gonna sell it. Okay. So if they didn't share the floor level, if you never share your floor level, I mean, more importantly, you know this one top floor, not top floor, very high floor, 550. If you are not willing to take a price around this range, then you got to wait for this unit to sell first. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
We have some more questions coming from What Bazooka 88. Okay, Alvin, maybe you can do this.
Okay. Oh, thanks, What Bazooka, for the kind words. Oops. Anyway, what about Red Hill Road, especially with the upcoming BTO launches? Is it a good time to buy? Is it worth to buy? Oh, YW. Is it worth to buy this location? Buangkok Crescent. Correct.
Yes,
YW is asking about Buangkok Crescent, right? Buangkok Crescent, come, you look at our recent ranges, right? Okay, so you see, recent ranges, Buangkok Crescent should be in Sengkang. Sengkang, right?
Three room.
He's asking about 3 room, right? 515 to 538. 515 to 538. So actually, if you see the listing prices, they are at 550 top floor. Just now that unit you saw, I think not bad. Yeah, because it's high floor which means it's likely on the top end of the range. Slightly should range between the top end. Around there, I think should be not bad. Not just that, Vic, you go back to the data points. If I'm looking at also the data, if you want a bit cheaper, you go Serangoon. You can go Serangoon 500 plus, but if you go to Punggol, 542. Punggol 542 as the higher. This column is median.
The first one is median, the next one is high.
The next one is high, right? Because the one is a high floor, like for like high floor with Punggol at about 540. So 550 I think is reasonably priced. So instead of about the location, I can give you the specific whether I feel the unit is reasonably priced or not. Of course, you want further details, you can reach out to us, we can do some valuation checks for you. But I do feel that particular listing is quite competitive in terms of their pricing. What Bazooka, right, good time to buy, Red Hill Road, you have more specific areas. If not, I don't know whether Red Hill we can see though. If you just click Red Hill, are we able to see any?
Red Hill Road?
Actually, Red Hill, that cluster quite small. You open by maps. Is it the Red Hill one beside the MRT, the one? Likely. There, see? Actually, you click Red Hill. What size? And then Joanne is asking about Tampines Pasir Ris Street 71. So give us a minute.
4 room?
4 room, yes, correct. 4 room.
Give us a moment.
Anyway, for those of you on IG, you can only see a bit of us and you can hardly see the screen. So if you're on IG, do go onto our YouTube, TikTok or Facebook to see. And help us like and share. Especially those of you on TikTok, we are getting a lot more views on TikTok. Yeah. Oh, he said in particular 73A, that cluster. Around here.
Yes.
Around here, 4 room. We range from. This one is good price, eh? 888. You go. Yeah, and then you go to our big data. our big data.
Right.
Queenstown.
Queenstown, yes. Yep.
Queenstown, 4-room. 4-room.
4-room is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Median will be.
These two.
Median 995 to 1.37. So if I'm looking at the prices immediately, it looks like it's pretty decent to me. You go to the listings.
Yeah. Okay. Let me hide this. Maybe I hide this. So, easier to see.
Yeah. So Queenstown 995. So your 888 is good. Your 888 is decent. Your 890, no, but 890 is a bit older. 68 is a bit older. Yeah. So your 75. You can support our boss Marcus Lua. 928K. This one expensive already. Don't go above 1 mil. But I think anything above 900 and below, I think is good. 900 and below is good because your median is 995. 900 and below is good. 928, our boss Marcus Lua, that one not bad. Yeah, quite cheap. Yeah. Yeah. Bazooka. But all things considered, all things considered, my general overview for the HDB market as a buyer this year, MOP numbers are still quite low. So with that, prices may not be that cheap. Yeah. So if you are a buyer looking to buy a bit further out, you can potentially wait a bit if you have no rush. But central location, not so much because MOP numbers come down, they affect the outer fringes more than the central area. Yeah, so Bazooka, good listings, you can afford to take lah. How will the neighborhood be affect the
upcoming
price?
BTO? I think the one.
Not so much. Not so much. Why? Because the BTO in the Red Hill area definitely will get the prime location housing scheme. Okay. So a little bit of a background on prime location housing scheme, right? In case people don't know, right? 10-year MOP is the most obvious ones. Not just that, right? There's also the income cap eligibility criteria for anybody that is looking to buy, even in the resale market. So what that does is it forms a glass ceiling on the prices of those flats. Okay. So how I see it is it's about splitting the demand for buyers coming into the Queenstown area. Yeah. So if you are somebody that wants to potentially rent out your house after serving out the MOP, for example, or next time you want to sell in 5 years' time, for example, you will buy all the resale ones, right? If you are somebody that don't intend to rent out one, then you want to stay for very long, and some more you can fit the 14,000 income cap. Okay, you can potentially buy some of the new BTO or that has the prime location housing scheme. Yeah. So in my opinion, cannot say don't affect lah. Cannot say don't affect. It will affect, but will it push the prices down for this? Let's say this Red Hill cluster. The answer is no. It will have its own market. Who? The people that cannot buy all the PLH. If they cannot buy at BTO, means they cannot buy at resale already. The minute you burst 14K, you cannot. But most of the people that want to buy this kind of central area, their income, very good chance is burst the 14K one. So still got market one. And this Red Hill cluster, the location so good beside the MRT, no harm one. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Okay? Yep. Sounds good. Most welcome. One more. We have Joanne. 5-room at Pasir Ris Street 71. Do you have any questions on YouTube? No.
Sorry, 5-room is it?
Yeah. Interesting. Last week we have more on YouTube, and this week we have more of us on
keep the questions
TikTok.
coming.
Yeah, keep the questions coming. Some of the pointers we don't talk about today, we can talk about next week. So it's fine. Keep the questions coming.
Okay.
Oh, we have Mr. Bad Romance. A lot of people like the 88. Yeah, Mr. Bad Romance, Lady Gaga, we will come to you after this.
Yeah, Pasir Ris, 5-room. Let me see.
Yeah, anyway, help us like and share so more people can come in, more people ask questions, and you can hear our thoughts. Okay, we want to do something more extra than what other people do. So simply just giving you prices, giving you the kind of thought process behind everything, and how to get the most out of your decision. It will help us if you say you are looking to sell or buy, because it kind of will help us give your suggestions a little bit more. So Pasir Ris, right? Median 5 room 730,000, high 5 room 775, and this is data points within the month of June, just for transactions in the month of June. Okay. Yeah. So if you are looking at Bad Romance, let us know you are buying or selling. By the way. So for Joanne, 5 room, right? Street 71, come, let's take a look. Yep. Oh, 680, very cheap. But
a bit on the older side, if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay, 680, 688, come down, 699, 730. So quite a significant jump. And the differential, sometimes when you see the differential being so high, might be due to ethnic quota. Maybe you want to just take a quick glimpse at our friends at the 680 range. Is it because of ethnic quota? But this looks like a Chinese house. Let's go down. Description down. Oh, eligible to all races.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very cheap. This one, very cheap. So if you're looking to buy, you're planning to sell. Okay, so if you're planning to sell, right?
Sorry, hold on.
If you are looking to sell, these are the kind of prices you are looking at. And it seems like they are pricing it below the median. So the competition there quite high at this point in time. Quite high. Yeah,
actually for that 3 units only. Other than that, the rest about 730.
The rest are at median.
Yeah.
So I think if you are in not a rush, you maybe want these few units to clear. But it's the same unit. This one and the first one is the same unit. 680 and 688. You see one more example. 2 agents put different price. See, you're never going to get the extra $8,000 already. Yeah, please coordinate your prices.
Same, this guy also.
Huh?
Same house.
Yeah lah.
This is the third one.
Got 3 3 house, 3 different price.
Yeah, you see the same sofa.
No lah, this play pen we can tell.
This is the brown sofa.
3 house, 3 different price. You see, confuse the enemy or not? Confuse the buyer, confuse everybody. Please coordinate your prices. If you are a buyer looking to buy, this kind is the best house to buy. Because very confusing. And then you go to each agent, and each agent will help you push your prices. So you see, that's why no good. Okay. Yeah, wait, we will come to that. Good, good that a lot of questions coming in. But let's answer one by one. Joanne, are you happy to take question? Are you happy to take below 700? If you are not happy to take below 700, then you have to wait for these units to move.
Yeah, actually, just wait for this particular unit to move, because the next one comes in at 730.
But there's one more. I think there's one more. You go up. Then this one, 688. This one.
Same.
Same, eh?
Same sofa. You see this brown sofa?
Oh, just a different angle only. Oh,
I think so.
Same block is it? The sofa is the same, eh?
No,
No lah, it's different.
Sorry.
You need to wait for these 2 units to move. These 2 units, if you want to fetch above 700. Yeah? 730. Oh, 730, okay, quite come, scroll down. So you wait lah. 730, Joanne, wait for the other 2 people to sell. Then you put up, then you'll be very competitively priced. Joanne, okay? Yeah, it's a very reasonable, fair price, I feel. So who's next, by the way?
Kim, who is your that one for?
Oh, Bad Romance, Havelock View, 4 room, looking to sell in 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years.
Thinking of whether to sell this year or in 2 to 3 years. Okay, Bad Romance, come, you find the one. Then Bad Romance, I tell you, macro picture first. Hey, hi Jintat. Why people in Pasir Ris buy the same sofa? Yeah, lor. I also don't know. Right? You confuse people based on the price. You confuse people based on the sofa. Yeah,
Havelock room
quite shack. But anyway, thanks for joining. So anyway, bad romance. Come to your question. Of course, Havelock prices are stiff, right? Because Havelock, those competition is likely to be any new flat likely to be prime location housing ma.
Okay.
So similarly to what I said earlier, upside downside, right? The good thing is that the demand the demand that can afford to pay you high prices, they cannot afford to, or they can't buy the newer BTO ones anywhere in that area, because any new BTO in the area will have the prime flats, right? Downside will be your house is going to continue to age. Another downside is that with the newer flats having a glass ceiling due to all the restrictions involved, there's going to be a challenge for you to kind of fight them based on prices as well, because it's like buyers are going to come in and say like, hey, I know you don't have all the rule, but the newer flat is asking that kind of price. Then you will tell them, say, yeah, they're asking that kind of price because you cannot buy ma. Your income above 14K, you cannot buy, and you want to serve 10-year MOP. They will say, yes, I understand, but they're asking that kind of price and they're cheaper. How? Right? So I feel when we come to that stage where the first batch of PLH people hit their MOP, it's going to be very tricky. The market is going to be a bit weird, and people will try to figure out like, so how much exactly to pay for what, right? So that's on the macro perspective, a bit longer term, 2 to 3 years, right? Prices aside, right? I would suggest, let's say in 2 to 3 years time, because of the higher amount of MOP numbers coming in, likely will bring overall price on the HDB level, overall price index to stabilize or to come off. You may face a bit of price pressure. So in the big scheme and long scheme of things, right, I would suggest you then consider your more long-term game. If you're looking to right size down, okay, never mind, doesn't really change anything. If you're looking to upgrade, you can think of it as your HDB prices will likely stay flat. Even if it go up marginally, right? And if you're upgrading your larger asset, then that larger asset may be priced even more, because with higher MOP numbers coming in, private prices will shoot higher, especially in your 2 to 3 years that you just mentioned, okay? So you want to balance that, right? In terms of timing, like even this one come up by 5%, is coming up on a lower quantum than, let's say, if you're upgrading to a 2 mil, 2.5 mil, that kind of thing. If you're right size, doesn't matter. Okay, now let's look at his numbers. Now look, 32 32 4-room so many
Because don't know exactly where she said Havelock view.
Havelock view okay let's look at the range How much you looking to fetch? What's his name?
Bad romance.
Bad romance. How much you looking to fetch? Maybe you let us know, then we can help you analyze. Do we have more people? More questions? 23 Gilmore Link 23. Boom Shakalaka, just nice we're talking about Gilmore Link just now. 23 Gilmore Link Oh, nobody selling. Nobody selling. You open one more tab for Gilmore Link 23 Gilmore Link. Quite high floor level 24.
This is buy or sell?
Sell. I think selling how much, right? Boom Shakalaka. Bad romance rate, we'll come back to you. Gilmore Link. 4-room.
4-room.
4-room. So Gilmore Link, you will want to consider not just within Gilmore, because when you sell Gilmore, when buyers come into Gilmore, they will find the whole area, the whole stretch, the whole Gilmore stretch. But just for sake of considerations around here, high floor. So high floor, we will do high to low. Anyway, 13, we do high to low. So low is 860, but if you go high, Michelle Low, my friend, down, 28 Yeah, you'll fetch above a mil lah. You fetch above a mil, that's for sure. And it seems like you should be ranging 1.2 lah. This guy already a bit lower than you already. Yeah, this one is lower already. So I think you'll be like, I think 1.2 and above easily lah, level 24. Of course, depending on condition and everything. Of course, right? If you want a deeper discussion, you can drop us a text. We'll go into a bit greater detail lah. Because well, we appreciate the questions. We didn't expect got so many. So we only covered the first, the first one. Let's finish. Close the loop with Bad Romance. Yes. Havelock, right? 990K, right? Havelock 990K. Let me see.
Okay, so the cheapest about 800K.
But Delta is older lah.
Yeah.
Kim Tian is not very old. No, Kim Tian is also quite old. Yeah lah, Bad Romance. I think not a problem. Havelock Road, everybody is at 1 mil now. Anybody at Havelock is at 1 mil. So 990 shouldn't be a problem lah. Even your competition over at Kim Tian is also high 900. So I think 990, can aim higher. 990 very conservative. Can aim higher. No listings under 1 million for Havelock. Yeah. Cool. Hopefully, and also for Boom Shakalaka, hopefully answered your question as well. 1.2 and above, like easily. Okay. Keep the questions coming, but let's cover the rest of what we wanted to cover. Maybe we'll just cover one more area and then we finish off with our case study. Yeah? Yep. We need to open our analysis. We are talking about where? We finished off Tampines.
Yeah, we were at Tampines.
Good value. Yes. Right? We were talking about Tampines North. Owners for Tampines North, if you happen to be watching.
This is the 5 rooms one.
5 room,
Yeah, actually, I think I closed the 4-room tab.
Okay lah, doesn't matter.
Okay,
5 room, if you see these kind of prices, very attractive. Why? We look at our big data. On the big data, right? If you see the 4-room, Tampines,
this is 5 room.
Oh, it's 5 room, of course, the 745 will be a lot older. So if you anywhere at 800 for a newly MOP that comes in between the median and the highest, I think it's actually a really good value for money. And you are also cheaper than some of the more expensive 4 rooms because the 4 room at Central 8 is 900 over 1,000. 4 room at Central 8, 900 over 1,000. You can buy a 5 room a bit further out, right? At 800 plus 1,000 is very good value for money. So for those of you who are looking for big size, 5 room, don't need to be so close to MRT, or you're okay to wait for MRT a couple more years. Great value for money in the Tampines North area. But one thing to note, for sellers, 36 listings for 5 room. We sold one 5 room. Somehow everything hacked into 1 bedroom. It took a while, right? But the interesting thing here is this, right? It's not that there's no demand. It's that when the demand is limited, you just have to make sure the pricing is correct. Now, the minute the pricing is correct, the unit moves very, very quickly. Yeah, so it's about catching that. So the more competition you have, the more realistic and the more information and the more dynamic you have when it comes to pricing. So when we are selling that unit, we're actually monitoring pricing on a every week, every 2 weeks thing, because new listings come up very quickly and you have to see how the prices are moving quickly. So the more competition you deal with, the more dynamic and the more active you have to monitor the prices. Okay? So now that we are done with Tampines, you feel free to keep the questions coming, okay? Yep. Okay. Feel free to keep the questions coming. We will cover the other 2 areas next week, since we are running short on time, and we're going to do this every week anyway. So definitely enough things to cover.
So tune in next week also.
So tune in next week. We'll cover more areas. If any of you, or if you are watching the replay and you want us to analyze your area, your things, continue to put into the comments or text here. All right, we'll review it next Tuesday. right? 1 week from now. Any areas you're keen on us analyzing and whatnot. But we wanted to end, or we wanted to have every live session a particular case study, right? And so today's case study was a deal that we've done a while ago already. But there are some intricacies involved, some challenges that we have overcome, and we thought we wanted to share that with everyone with some learning points come. Vic will share.
Yeah. So this couple engaged us to help them sell their 4-room HDB flat at Telok Blangah. So it was newly MOP. They wanted to sell this and upgrade into something else. So what they wanted to do, so what we did for them was a back-to-back move. So we sold this one and then they bought a private, and then we had to coordinate the timeline so that they didn't have to move twice, like the funds were in, and based on what requirements they had, we also had to help them see where we buy for them.
Yeah, so back-to-back move lah. Because they have a kid, staying with the parents weren't really an option with them, right? Because whenever people come to us and they want to execute a back-to-back move, later on you look at the timeline, and as I try my best to explain it, you will see it's quite complicated, and a lot of things have to be aligned in order for you to achieve a back-to-back. So we always ask, it's something you should ask yourself, right? Is moving back with parents an alternative? If not, then there's certain things that you have to work together with the agent to start to pull off, and there's certain things that there's certain risk involved in it, which we'll explain later on, right? So can be done. We do it all the time, but if you are able to explore some alternatives on potentially moving back to your parents for a little while, it buys yourself some breathing room. Okay, so in terms of the timeline, so this one is an interesting story also to share with all of you, be it you are a seller or a buyer. Let's talk about the selection of offers.
So actually, this unit we managed to sell quite quickly. Within 2 weekends of viewings, we had 2 offers that came in. So one was represented by an agent. So she was a direct, just a solo buyer. And another one was a
single lady.
And another offer that came in was from a couple who were looking at the unit by themselves without an agent. So when we tell them things like, because we wanted to do a back-to-back move for the upgrading, we need things like longer extension, longer submission period. And then when we talk to the DIY buyers themselves, then they were like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this longer submission period? Why do we need to give a longer submission period? So we felt a bit more confident proceeding with the lady that was represented by an agent, because we were able to communicate more clearly with the agent, and he also understood our needs on why we needed certain timing for certain things to happen.
And it's not just the and why we do that, and we were very transparent with the sellers also. There were 2 offers. It came in more or less the same time. Price also more or less the same, right? But what is important in this particular case, right, was timing. Timing was important. Price, as you can see later on in terms of our LGPS ranking, price isn't the most important. Not saying not important, wasn't the most important, right? It's that we cannot screw up the back-to-back move, right? So we presented to the sellers, we spoke to both parties. I mean, don't get us wrong, we are not saying that we only will close deal with agents with buyers that are represented by agents. The owners are the ones that decide. But in this case, it's more so that the buyer represented by the agent were able to articulate and give us confidence that they can accede to our timeline requirements. That gave us the confidence to go with them. Because the direct buyer, we explained to them, they was like, do you have rush to get the house? They say, no, okay, we can give time. So we asked for extension. They were also okay with extension, right? But then when we come to this submission period, while we explain to them, they were like, oh, okay, I think okay lor, it's okay lah, we got no rush, But we have also had experience before. I don't know those of you who are watching this, whether you got sell house before. a lot of the times they say, okay, the problem with HDB is what? A lot of the things is discussed verbally.
There's no black and white.
There's no black and white.
Yeah.
While you are written down, while it's written down or through WhatsApp and we write the submission date at that point in time, right? If the buyer were to execute and go and submit earlier, your timeline to the 7 day to submit gets activated. If not, the whole deal gets thrown out. So in this kind of cases where there's a lot higher risk, right? I should be terribly honest with anyone that's looking to buy and serving yourself. When the owner on the opposite end has a lot of things to consider, right? Timeline requirements and whatnot, you really is not at a disadvantage, right? As much as you can know your procedure and whatnot that you can DIY yourself, right? Yeah. So if you keep banging walls like that, you keep feeling like you can't push the deal through. This is something that you can potentially. It's potentially the reason why. It's not say the agent purposely don't want to work with the buyers, because they have a lot of knock-on things to consider, right? If things like that screw up, right? And later on, I will share why the timeline is so critical, right? So another one of the challenges is that they are making this move also because of the kids' primary school, right? And so, which is why you see in terms of LGPS ranking, location really is number one, right? Because if you don't go within 1 km of the school, then actually they don't even need to move at all. They will just put in the alumni school, right? Which is why if we were to make this move, we want to make sure it's within 1 km of the future primary school. So that again, right, we have timeline restriction and we have location restriction that limits down to the potential units that we can buy to not a lot lah. Right? And because they are in a 4-room, they cannot take a two bedroom, right? Ideally, they still want a 3-bedroom and that kind of things, right? So if you have watched our previous live, every time we meet sellers, we do our LGPS ranking to really know how to prioritize their needs and requirements.
I mean buyers, not sellers.
Yes. Yeah. When you are looking to buy something, correct? So, so we determine, right? Very obviously, price, location is number one. Cost, if we want to move, definitely, right? Growth, right, which is capital appreciation, number 2 lah, if can, but again, not the most important. Most important, we land in the area that we want. Price, third was size, but quite flexible, right? As long as it was a 3-bedroom, right? Which is why in the end we landed on something like it wasn't even 1,000 square feet. It was just 900 plus square feet. But layout was still quite good, lah, right? But 900 plus square feet can already. They didn't have a helper, lah, which kind of helps in managing the sizing. Yeah. And lastly was price, lah. Right, their finances were quite healthy, so they were willing to pay higher just to land in the area that they are looking for, or if not, buy a unit that offers them capital appreciation, willing to pay more, willing to stretch the budget a little bit, right? Yeah. So now let's talk about the timeline lah, to share with everybody why doing a back-to-back requires a lot of coordination. Okay. Again, if you guys are planning for yourself, you want to take a look at some of these templates, feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to share. Of course, we'll remove the sensitive data, right? And then you can work on it on your own if you want to have some reference. So we first start off with the sale, right? Typical HDB, okay? When you are looking to, maybe I stand up easier. Maybe, yeah. Typical HDB, if I stand up like that.
You block a bit.
I'll be out of the TikTok screen, is it? Okay. But I need to show this, which is okay. Yeah, anyway, okay. Then Vic, you shift this there a bit so that I can step in. You shift this there first. There the selling part first.
I need to move.
Open that up. No, you just make yeah lah. I think this is okay? Okay, can. So HDB, typically, right, you issue the option. Once you sold, you negotiated the price, you will issue the option. The option is valid for 21 days. In between, the buyer will do the valuations and whatnot. If they choose to forfeit, they will forfeit the $1,000. Okay, then you get to keep the $1,000. But if they choose valuations, all sui done, right? They choose to proceed, then they will pay you $4,000. Of course, all these numbers can be negotiated, but they cannot exceed these numbers. Yeah. The option exercise will come within the 21 days. Right? The minute you receive an exercise option, your house is considered sold, right? And you go and exercise any other properties, then you have no ABSD. So when you're talking about ABSD, everything is about exercise, not option, exercise, not completion, exercise. Okay, right? SSD also count from when you exercise the option of your purchase. Okay, but the tricky thing is MOP is calculated from completion. Yeah, and if you give an extension, your MOP is calculated from when your extension ends. A lot of people are not aware about this. So if you are selling your house, okay, and you think back, you bought it in the resale market, you have to think back. I faced this so many times. Prep, come to time to sell. Suddenly realize, that time that we submit the intent to sell, it cannot go through. Why? Because haven't hit the MOP yet. That time grant 3 months extension, then postpone everything another 3 months. So just keep that in mind, okay? So once you exercise already, this was what we say was very important, okay? The submission period. If you want to do back-to-back, and you are seeking an extension of stay, very important for you to ask for a longer submission period, okay? Why? Because by the time you make this online submission to HDB, you have to offer them or you have to produce a new purchase option for your new house. Then you will be eligible for the extension. If not, there's no extension. If you cannot give an address here, you cannot get an extension, okay? Please don't try to do anything funny. Over the news recently, HDB actually got go down and check one. And if they realize you contravene the MOP rules, it's a lot of hassle, right? So I do suggest, if you are selling your house and moving back to your parents' house in the interim and all those things, or whatnot, renting, all those things, cannot have extension, okay? Yeah, I want to make this very, very clear for those who are listening. Okay, so, which is why, and then so it's between this 45-day period that you have to go and buy a house, okay? Then you submit to HDB. HDB takes about 4 to 5 weeks to accept it, right? And then 8 weeks later, you will complete the purchase, right? This means you officially are no longer owner of the house. If you do manage to get an extension, the extension is add on another 3 months from this date. Yeah. But the important thing, why it's highlighted over here, okay? Why it's highlighted over here is if you are taking a bridging loan. Now, why do you take a bridging loan? You take a bridging loan if you want to complete your purchase faster. Okay, now I come over to the purchase side, and how do we time it back to back? So how do we plan this for the client? Okay, because of the fact that we know we want the extension, so before we sell the house, we're already viewing units already, and then we already locked in on one particular unit, which is why you see the date. The minute the buyer gave us $1,000, we put in the 1% for the purchase for the new house. Okay. Usually, right, to play safe, I may not recommend putting the 1% so early. Okay, why? Because your buyer only put in $1,000, but you put in 1%, and this 1% was on 1.7 mil, so it was 17K. If your buyer don't proceed, then you need to forfeit your 1% is 17,000. So now in exchange for that, what did we do to mitigate that? We asked for a longer option period. Okay, so private, very good. Private option period, you can discuss one. You can go 10 weeks. When I bought my own house, my own place, I had a 12 months option period, 1 whole year option period. Okay, usually owners will ask for more than 1% in option fee, but we are very lucky. We managed to negotiate a 1% option fee for the buyer in exchange for 10 weeks. 10 weeks very important. Why? Because if this buyer don't exercise the option within 21 days, we got time to find another buyer. That's why the owner was confident. Our buyer was confident to do that. Yeah. So we bought time over here, right, by optioning it earlier. Right? Thankfully, the buyer decided to proceed. Okay, so private quite simple. 1%, 4% after the option period. Your stamp duty is payable after 2 weeks after the exercise. But what's important to note, especially in terms of back-to-back moves like that, your 1%, 4%, your 5% plus your buyer's stamp duty will have to be cash, all cash. Okay. While this buyer stamp duty, subsequently you can get your CPF to reimburse you. You have to fork out cash first. That's just how things work. So if you don't have the 5% plus stamp duty, which essentially is almost 10% of the house if it's above $1.5 million, then you cannot do this back-to-back move first. Okay? If you need all these funds to come out from your sale, then you have to push all this back to the completion period where you get the funds out. Yeah? Still can be done, right? But most likely, if that's the case, you cannot have an extension because you only buy your house after the submission period. Then you cannot have an extension. Yeah. So now, most important thing, right? When you take a bridging loan, so for this case, they could afford to pay this, but they still needed the funds from the sale to help fund the completion, right? Which is the balance 20% for the house. So we had to take a bridging loan. Two options basically. First option, right? You time this date, the completion date, to be 3 weeks after the completion of your HDB. Then you get to collect the CPF funds, and you can use the CPF funds to help with this 20%, right? But downside to that is that the time for renovation is very short because you collect your keys only upon completion. So if you have a 3 months completion and you time your completion, this completion only to be 3 weeks after your completion, that means you essentially only left 2 weeks to do renovation, right? But if you time it, you do bridging loan, so you're paying in exchange for more time, you get to complete this a lot earlier. You complete this earlier, you buy yourself essentially 1 extra month of renovation, okay? Of course, if the house is no need reno, that kind, then you don't need to spend money on the bridging loan. But if you need to do a lot of extensive reno, my suggestion is to take a bridging loan. But in order to take the bridging loan, 2 things, important things to take note of. First, you need to complete your private earlier than your HDB. You need to complete your private earlier than HDB. If your private is to complete 1 day after your HDB completion, the bank won't disperse. Okay? Second thing, right? You will have to have your HDB approval letter, okay, before the completion also. Usually about 3 weeks before the completion, you need to have your HDB approval letter. The tricky thing here is what? A lot of all these timings, these 8 weeks from acceptance is fixed. But these 4 weeks, it can range from 4 weeks to 5 weeks when HDB was overwhelmed, 5 to 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, so it can stretch a lot. And it's very uncertain. So your completion is hinging on this very uncertain thing. So some of the things what we do for our clients is to make sure we fix in the completion date for the HDB so that we can ensure we can lock in these 2 dates to be one after another, number one. And then you have to keep chasing HDB to give you the approval letter, then you can disperse your bridging loan. That's why, with all this said and done, that's why it's very important that we make sure the buyer can work with our timing on this side. And anything cock up anyway, it's very hard to execute on that side. So if you're looking to do a back-to-back, try not to do it on your own is my advice. There's a lot of risk involved. End up no house to stay, end up the buyer don't understand what you mean, go back on their word and whatnot. There's everything back to square one. Okay? Yeah, this probably is as in-depth. Even some agents don't even know how to do back-to-back with bridging loan and everything. So hopefully it's benefited some of you. If it has, please do help us like and share, number one. Number two, come back next week to help us like and share even more. Especially for those that we help you answer some of your questions. Any other questions that we have? If not, thank you so much for joining us, especially for those that help press the give, help press the like and subscribe. All of you, hopefully we've helped you out a little bit. If not, we'll be back next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. on all 4 platforms. Hopefully by the time we get IG to work properly and you're not just seeing a little bit of half of our faces here and there, right? If you need more help, if you like any of the data research that we have done, drop Victoria a text over here. Right? We are happy to share. You want some help with checking or not, is it the right time to sell? Is it the right time to buy? We had some question about Pasir Ris 8, the 1 bedroom. Hopefully she's still here. What was her name? Let's help her with that. Pasir Ris 8, 1-bedroom, right? Slammy. Okay, if Slammy, if you're still around, Pasir Ris 8, 1-bedroom, you can sweep something over to me. Okay, 1-bedroom. Not too bad, just 28 units. 28 units for sale, considering it's quite a big development. Let's look at the prices, where they stand. 987,000. Not too bad.
PSF still okay?
PSF is still okay. It kind of depends. If you're looking to sell, I mean, the ranges are about there, 980, very competitive, especially once you go MOP. If you're hoping to fetch above 1 mil, I think it will definitely take time. I mean, a lot of the askings are above 1 mil. I think transactions on investment suites, I don't think there will be any transactions as yet at above 1 mil for a 1-bedder in Pasir Ris lah. Why? Your biggest competition is going to come from your cocoa palms.
Oh, have.
Yeah, because cocoa palms are just diagonally across the road. We have prices at 800,000, 800 plus 850,000 and whatnot. Oh, but we already have some transactions at got 1.028 million. Oh, very good. The profit 139,000. Amazing. You can share this.
I don't think it's different. No.
Oh, no.
Different, yeah.
139,000 profit. 4.12% annualized. Wow. This one will be part of my new case study. And only 23 units for sale, which is not a crazy amount. But yeah, really depends, Slammy, if you're still here, what you want to do. But if you're already sitting on 100 over K, above 3% to 4%, ranging between 3 to 4% annualized profits, is good to, if you want to churn it, good to go. If not, right, suggestion is to rent it out in the short to mid term, 6 months to 1 year, to go and stagger out and let the supply clear off first before coming in, right? If you sign the tenancy, try to get the for sale clause inside, so that you can sell, vacant if so necessary. Yeah. But most of the buyers for 1-bedrooms, they are okay to take a little bit of tenancy. They are okay. If you're looking to sell, try not to sign a 2-year tenancy. And especially don't go and sign a 2-year tenancy that don't allow you to break your clause. Right? So 6 to 9 months. Something interesting that we like to do for our clients is to put a bit of odd number, like 9 months kind, so that you stagger out your tenancy when it ends also. Yeah. But if not, then it's like, wow, I'm very impressed with Pasir Ris 8 1-bedroom profit and selling above $1 million for a 1-bedroom. But sometimes these kind of transactions do you see 2 to 3 after that no more. So again, right, if you want to catch it, strike where the iron is hot, take the profits and move on. Right? No point holding it for too long. I feel it's a very, very good price, and 4% annualized, 3 to 4% annualized is great already. Okay, if not, then thank you so much everyone for joining us. We will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.